the future of software testing lies in the battle between white box and the black box testing methodologies. Basically, the domain knowledge is very important for the tester. They have to understand the concepts behind the code that they are testing.
So the user expectation, the user experience is being validated as per our requirement. Then our overall software testing is optimized. So
we are seeing things like continuous testing, shift left testing, and even like now AI assisted testing, which is like very much common now.
And thing was you can do also with manual testing, but it requires a lot of time.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Tech Samvad, the talk show where we actually break down the world of technology in a way that's easy to digest. So did you know that the future of software testing lies in the battle between white box and the black box testing methodologies? So let's start today's Tech Samvad. I am Pramesh.
Hello everyone, I am Shalin, and today we have a very fascinating topic to discuss, and it's related to software testing. And in this specifically, we are going to discuss what is white box and black box testing, and how testing has evolved over the years, and how artificial intelligence is reshaping this software testing space. But we will focus our discussion on white box and black box testing.
That's right. So testing is such a crucial aspect of software development, right? And it has been like seen some major changes over the time. So let's dive into it and discuss it without any ado.
Okay, so Pramesh, let's start. Let's create a base. So about white box testing. So what is white box?
That's a good question, Shalin. Like white box testing, also known as like clear box testing or glass box testing, involves testing the internal structures, code, and logic of the application. It's essentially the tester knows the system internal workings, and the tests are designed based on this knowledge. So this method often requires programming skills because the tester needs to understand the code and ensure that every path is covered. So basically, the domain knowledge is very important for the tester. They have to understand the concepts behind the code that they are testing.
So do you think domain knowledge is essential skill for white box tester?
Absolutely.
How?
Without that, see, that's the difference between black box and the white box, right? So white box, you have to know what exactly you're testing. And for that, the domain knowledge becomes very important.
Okay. So on the contrary, Pramesh, the black box testing is a form of software testing where the tester doesn't need to know about the internal code aspect, right? It doesn't matter whether application is written with what kind of technology, what kind of tools has been used. This black box testing is purely on functional aspect.
Black box testing is more about mimicking real world scenarios, right? So it's just like, okay, you have some scenarios and you mimic that and do it.
It's I mean, black box is in a nutshell. They mimic end user experience, and accordingly they validate the application or functionality as per the requirement, right? So this is the black box. So I mean, like white box testing is like why we use white box testing. So we need to discuss a little bit. So white box testing is mostly used in unit testing space, and when if I'm a developer and I'm creating a function for my requirement, and then I need to integrate also. So unit level testing I need to do using white box. Integration aspect of 2-3 units also I need to do validate through white box. So using the code's internal logic, right? That's how we do white box. And also some good example, I can say that through white box testing, I can also detect if there is any memory leakage or not, right? So those kind of testing, even in boundary testing errors also, I can detect very well through white box, right? So obviously these kind of testing this can be performed in black box also, but we need to save some time for our black box testers, right? To look at the important aspect. So on other hand, so in black box testing, science when you need to validate the end-to-end function. That's why I think these are the more important aspects. End-to-end functionality, and we need to make sure that our black box tester or functional tester or end-to-end validation tester, they ensure that the user expectation, the user experience is being validated as per our requirement. Then our overall software testing is optimized. So we need to ensure that when a small issue, like that when we are building an application or any tool, right, our black box tester or functional tester should not find any boundary-like issue, any cosmetic issue. All those kind of stuff should be detected in unit test. Right. So we need to facilitate all those things.
Great. So now that we have covered the basics, let's talk about the testing, how testing has evolved. And if we see like testing wasn't always this sophisticated like what we have right now. The early days, like if you remember in these early days of software development, testing was often like of afterthought, like sometimes done after development was mostly finished. And the emphasis was on manual testing. QA testing would literally sit down and manually test the software by running different use cases.
Yeah, and I imagine that was pretty slow and prone to human error.
Yeah, exactly. And that concept of continuous integration and continuous development, which exists now, wasn't there earlier, right? So testing was slower, and the process of fixing bugs and pushing updates was very cumbersome. And that's why, like, waterfall was one of the reasons that it has not has taken a backseat in most of the projects now.
Yeah, definitely, Ganesh. And if we fast forward to today, I mean, we now have automated testing frameworks like we use Selenium, JUnit. There are many. So Selenium, JUnit, these are one of the most popular functional testing framework we have nowadays. And in this, we can run hundreds of tests in a fraction of time, and which previously we used to run manually and take a lot of time. So with automation, I will enhance here more with appropriate framework, right? Automation using appropriate framework, it optimizes your whole software testing.
That's true. And not just automated testing, but also like the advent of agile development and DevOps in particular. These practices has changed the game, right? So like now testing is embedded in every step of the development process, from the planning stages to the post-release maintenance. You have testing everywhere, and they are actually like put into the system in the initial stage itself now.
Okay, so Pramesh, I have one question for you. I mean, what are some of the newest concepts in testing that we are seeing today?
Well, we are seeing things like continuous testing, shift left testing, and even like now AI assisted testing, which is like very much common now. And continuous testing means running tests at every stage of development, like ensuring constant feedback on the quality of the product. Shift left testing, on the other hand, moves testing early in the development cycle to catch bugs before they become too ingrained in the code base. So it's like for more like you are empowering the developer also to do some testing on his own.
Right. And you use one term. I'm very keen for more explanation on that. So you use that AI assisted testing. So can you elaborate this, please?
Yeah, sure. So AI in testing is very exciting, actually. That's a new feature, and that's a new frontier also. Especially like if you see like AI can help in test case generation, like identifying test coverage gaps and even predicting which part of the code are most likely to break. So for example, like if you see AI can analyze previous test results and learn patterns that indicate where future failures might occur. So that's the most important thing. Learning from the data and analyzing that data. So for example, like that is the most important thing, and allowing testers to focus their effort on those areas actually it makes testing very exciting.
Yeah, definitely, Pramesh. And AI is basically artificial intelligence is helping our software tester to be more efficient. And instead of manually writing hundreds or thousands of test cases, with the help of AI, we can create tests automatically, some of the tests automatically. And one condition I want to insert here that you cannot write all test cases through artificial intelligence as of now. In future, let's see. And artificial intelligence also helps with visual testing, which is our graphical user interface testing, right? Where AI compares the visual appearance of application across devices or screens, and if there is any discrepancy, it highlights. Right, so something manual tester could sometimes miss it because of human error. And plus, with the rise of machine learning, we are seeing predictive analytics in testing also. Yeah,
that's very important. Yeah,
the system can suggest optimization based on the historical data. So one thing I want to elaborate here, Ramesh, this thing was you can do also with manual testing, but it requires a lot of time.
Yeah. And you cannot catch everything in there. Everything.
So this is the analytical skills of experienced tester was being automated with the help of artificial intelligence. More accurate, right? So let's discuss one more thing. What is the impact of artificial intelligence on testing.
Yeah, let's discuss that. So, Shalin, do you think artificial intelligence will completely replace manual testers? We have done a segment on that separately, but just to briefly like tell our users.
It's a good question, and now nowadays a very hot topic of discussion in the software industry, right? So it's not going to be like that. I mean, while artificial intelligence can certainly automate many aspects of the testing, I don't think all manual aspect of the software quality assurance or software testing is going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. So we need to think AI as a new technology, a new tool who can enable software testing to be more efficient and more optimized. Right? Obviously, it is going to help us to execute whole software testing aspect in a faster way and more efficient way. So we need to
That
think
is
like that.
true. I agree with you, but I think the only thing is like we have seen so many changes over the years. Like in the last 30 years that we have been in the industry, we have seen like so many new technologies and languages come in. But the way that AI has come, I think this is the most dangerous. And if you talk about if you that way, because it has scope for betterment of society as well as the danger part where actually it takes over the society. So that is the most danger part where we actually cannot see how this can actually go, because we've talked about it earlier also. Like Facebook, it had two language. It had a project where they put two bots and created a language for them. And when they started doing it, the bots actually created their own language and started communicating in that language. Now, just imagine like that was the small piece of it, right? And they had to shut that project because like they didn't want to, because it became very like bad that way, right? So it is just one aspect of it, right? Think about the ways that people can use it for destruction of humanity. And that is the major part where actually I have real doubts about this, because there is no regulation right now on AI which is being done by the governments. And that I think that is where all the governments, especially like the United States, which actually calls itself the superpower, it should actually like take the initiative and make some hardcore regulations on that and make sure that people actually follow that.
Yeah, that's a totally different aspect from your ethical concern also fall in the same umbrella. So
Yes.
this is totally different aspect. But let's focus on this software testing only. So I can give you one example. Like recently, we all know that Google is very technically advanced in artificial intelligence, right? So recently, YouTube, which is under Google umbrella, they had some code changes for YouTube, and those code were written by AI engines, artificial intelligence engines. And we all know that Google or YouTube, when they do release, that's always with high quality. We all know. They prove it. And what happened once that code changes got released, we observed that many YouTubers account, celebrity YouTubers account got deleted. It was the side quality aspect of AI coding. And what happened? They thought, hey, coding has been performed by artificial intelligence engine, and our engine is so robust, nothing is going to happen. And then they run some here and there unit tests, and everything was looking okay to them, and they released it without doing end-to-end testing. And I know many celebrity YouTubers account got deleted. Though YouTube has a backup system and all those things, everything got restored, but it was a chaos for more than a couple of days.
That's an important point, right? AI is only as good as the data it's trained on. So
Yeah.
if the training data contains biases, the AI could potentially overlook certain types of bugs or favor particular outcomes, right? So that's why it is essential to ensure diversity in test data, and human oversight in the process is very important. But the problem here is, Charlene, that companies to cut cost is cutting the human aspect of it. And they are just relying, like you said, on the AI part, which is the danger part, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so the company sometimes does that due to budgetary constraint. But when they burn their hand, then they realize. I'm pretty confident Google will pay attention now. So we need to be cautious with artificial intelligence here.
We have to.
I want to highlight here, just like with any tool, we need to ensure it is being used responsibly. Right? Ethical aspect you were telling us, right? But when done right, with the right intention, with the right process, it definitely, I will say, drastically improves your speed and your accuracy also. right? So to answer the broader question, that is AI going to replace manual testing? No, it is not going to happen. As of now, I don't foresee that it's going to happen in at least 4 or 5 years. But definitely, it is going to optimize your software testing operation
And
and
it will have
improving
an
operation.
impact. Like, so
Yeah.
definitely there'll be a cut in manual testing.
Definitely. So, we in this discussion we also touch about the future of testing also, right? But do you have any specific question on the future of testing, Pramesh, which we want to discuss here?
I think like testing will continue to evolve with more AI integration, no doubt. Not
Mhm.
just in automated test cases, but also in self-healing systems where AI can identify and fix bugs on its own, right? We'll see smarter automation. We'll see frameworks that adapt to changes in the code base without requiring manual interventions as such. So I think that's where the future is aligned right now.
Definitely, Pramesh, and sounds very promising. I mean, I also think with the rise of this our DevOps, right, where the security is inbuilt. Security aspect is inbuilt in DevOps, right? And the entire life cycle. Previously, we never used to consider the security and all those aspects. But with DevOps, we consider security operation is also in our life cycle. Even testing will, I foresee testing will become ever more tightly integrated with security aspect of our software development life cycle.
Yeah,
And we,
absolutely. With AI also, right, the lines between different types of testing might blur. So functional performance and security testing could be handled in a more unified way. So the goal is to catch issues in early as possible, whereas like whether they are bugs, performance problems, or security vulnerabilities, so that depends like how that would be the real challenge, like how soon you can catch them.
Yeah, definitely. And we discussed in our earlier topic also, Pramesh, that the future of software tester will be very different. Their skill set will be very different. So my message to our software tester professionals who are into this industry or who is planning to come to into this industry, they need to be very technically updated, keep learning, and because the whole aspect, whole expectation is getting changed, and software professional need to handle every aspect of software testing. And this is an exciting time, Pramesh, right? And
Very indeed.
it's a very exciting future. So it's good. So, well, that was a very good discussion, Pramesh. I mean, testing has become a very different practice nowadays. And testing has come a long way from its manual origins. With the help of artificial intelligence on the horizon, right? We are looking at a future where software can be tested faster and more accurately than ever before. It is going to be beyond automation. Definitely, the future is going to be very different.
Absolutely. So thanks everyone for tuning into this episode of Tech Samvad, and we hope you learned something new about the world of software testing. If there's anything else that you want to have specific questions on, let us know, and we can.
And please don't forget to subscribe our channel, and leave us your valuable comments. What do you think about artificial intelligence role in software testing? Let us know, and we are here to we are happy to answer you guys. Let's subscribe our channel. Feel free to connect with us. Thank you.
So until next time, stay tech savvy, keep on doing Tech Samvad, and we'll meet you in another exciting episode of Tech Samvad in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.